Mm-hmm.
Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, seasonal updates ending with offline mode coming soon. This game will still be playable online. Warner Brothers Games has announced that Season 4 will be the last seasonal update for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. An offline mode will also be added as part of the final season. Season 4 will start with Episode 7 on December 10th and conclude with Episode 8 on January 14, 2025. The offline mode will let players experience the game's campaign and seasonal story mission content without an internet connection. However, players will have to be online in order to make progress on battle passes, buy things from the in game store, and access leaderboards. Warner Brothers Game also clarified that the studio has no plans to shut down the online servers for the game or admit failure, and that the in-game currency Luthicom, or coin, can still be purchased after Season 4. The final season sees Deathstroke joining the game as a playable character as he teams up with the Suicide Squad to take down Brainiac. Back in May, Warner Brothers Discovery said that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was a disappointing release and underperformed financially, leading to a $200 million shortfall. However, the company will continue to focus on core franchises with more live service, mobile, and free to play games, so they learn nothing.
Mm.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is reportedly receiving bare bones support from developer Rocksteady Studios and moving on to new projects such as a director's cut version of Hogwarts Legacy. In GameSpot's review of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, we said Rocksteady's first game in nearly a decade can't shake the superhero as a service genre's ubiquitous feeling that exists to keep players mindlessly engaged. And there's no comments on this. So, what do you think of basically putting Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League on life support?
It's inevitable. It seems that way for quite some time now. And then it was successful of its release, but it was had bad reviews and guys, YouTube gamers like that of Angry Joe and other YouTubers were like complaining the crap out of it and saying that the production system is tedious and ill convincing. It's like a travesty, and also how well they screwed up the killing of the characters like Batman and Poison. Or Poison was necessarily not killed per se, but transformed into a child in a sense through reincarnation. But
Yeah.
whatever. So it's kind of like okay, that's something new. So at this rate, though, also if I recall correctly, it was based off the movies as well as games at the same time. This may be the last year of the DC universe versus movie and TV collaboration style type of entertainment. Because next year, 2025, we're gonna come with that Superman reboot. So, and I saw the trailer of it too. So it wasn't so bad. So hopefully they'll restart from scratch, rebrand DC, and the next DC game that came out after this new Superman movie comes out next year, it'll be way better than Suicide Squad. Hopefully, unfortunately, I'm not a big, huge comic book fan of sorts. I used to be when I was younger. My dad had good, small time comic books. They weren't like big like Superman or Batman. It's like your Fishman, Shark Boy, like some weird ass shit. Like I was thinking, I was like, why did my dad buy these comic books, not the other ones? It's kind of weird. So I threw them out not accidentally, but I intentionally threw them out. And I regretted it months later. I was like, fucking, like, I was like, excuse my language, but I was like 13, 14 when I threw them out, or at least years after I threw them out, since like 2000, 2001, give or take. So, I kind of regret it because I can show proof of the matter why I threw out. But other than that, I used to be a big comic book fan next to my dad on, but I lost interest over time because of the quality of the comics were getting worse. As early as 2000, what's it, late 2000s or early 2010s, I hear from on YouTubers that saying, "Oh, guys like some guy heel versus babyface, like these guys were complaining that the comic industry was turned into trash." It's baffling. It's disrespectful too because we grew up on these games, these guys I mentioned, and myself too. X Men and fucking Flash and the Justice League and all. It was a big thing as the '90s into the mid 2000s. It's just a travesty that it turns to crap or this political nonsense. It's bullshit. You know.
Yeah.
I wish that the people that were involved in maintaining IPs were respected more, but the new generation took over, and most of them are these trust fund babies. No offense to them, they're like these spoiled brats. That's what I found out about. So and they ruined other IPs like Snow White and fucking what's the other ones I can think of? Spider, not Spider-Man yet. They haven't fucked it up yet. So the Marvel and all they maintained something with the Marvel movies released that, so I give them credit. But other IP stuff like that they messed up on. So it's they try to do it on purpose. This cultural Marxism is called,
Yeah.
and based upon what I heard about from J. Edward Griffin, the same talked about with Gary Besmoff and all of the interview back in the '80s. So these guys been working at that, exposing shit, saying that hey, this was going to happen, and we didn't believe them, and now IPs are fucked up for the last 7 years now. Ghostbusters and you name it, it sucks. So hopefully they'll reinitiate it better next year. Hopefully, so.
Yeah. Well, what I have to say is, you basically said it. It's cultural Marxism. They were trying to make something like this game culturally acceptable. Um, they wanted to, and they were trying to make messed up shit culturally acceptable. And as you can see, as people spoke with this sales of this video game, as people spoke with their vote um, in the presidential election, people don't want this shit. Um, I did see Angry Joe's review of this game. How he said it was tedious. Basically, you just do the same kind of missions over and over again, fighting purple blobs. Wow. You couldn't even put police officers in there. You had to make the enemies purple blobs. Wonderful. Um, so I mean, it's almost like a no brainer that this game was going to fail. The more we found out about it, um, and I really guess we should be surprised with Rocksteady's whoever's making the decisions not wanting to let this game die the death that it deserves. Because how many people are really gonna still play it? I mean, and I mean, Marvel's Avengers was the laughing stock before this game came out, and this game couldn't even reach Marvel's Avengers numbers. It couldn't even
Yeah.
reach half, and that's when it first came out.
Even the anthem was slightly better as released than Suicide Squad, if not the same.
Ex-
Type of
yeah, so I mean, it's it's not it's almost it's no surprise that this game, what happened. Like I said, we knew when we saw the finished product. We were like glad we didn't spend our money on this. And I mean, they could make it offline mode, but how many people are really going to care to play this game offline?
especially 20 years from now.
20 years from now, try 20 weeks from now.
20 weeks. That's even more pathetic. But you
20,
might get
20
some.
years from
You
now.
might get some digital architectures, what they call it, archaeologists, digital archaeologists, in like the year 2500 to dig up the servers of Suicide Squad and play that through their technical devices of that time, and that's about it. But not now. Like you said, in 20 weeks.
So I mean, yeah, wonderful. They at least finished their roadmap, but I mean, we there was questions after like the first season where they were like, are they is Rocksteady even going to see value in finishing the roadmap that they laid out for its first 4 seasons? And I think Rocksteady is just hoping that somehow people will still want to play the game offline or play online if they want to get in-game currency or battle passes or access leaderboards. But Rocksteady, there's no one cares.
Yeah. Let's wait till
I don't
24.
know. I don't know how else any players can say it. They don't care about this game. They could care less about your game currency. They could care less about your battle pass. They could for this game. They could care less about leaderboards for this game. People don't people want this game to go back into the abyss, never to be seen or heard from again. Let it go.
I mean, even I know these games are successful. The live service games are better, like
Yeah,
Apex Legends and what's called what's that game called? Fucking Fortnite. Like they're still in service for how many years now, selling their currencies and their poses
but
and things and stuff like that. So that that's their initial, that's their prime.
yeah,
But
but
Suicide Squad is a copycat of them. That's their so.
yeah, what I was gonna say is when you brought up Fortnite and Apex Legends and I think PUBG, you could throw that in there. Um, those games were the original. Those games have a track record of actually being fun to play. Um, so yeah, people like I said, uh, no one cares about battle passes for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, as much as Rocksteady wants to tell themselves that people do care. No one cares about the in-game currency for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. No one cares about leaderboards for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Um, And honestly, this game was basically a response to Fortnite, Apex Legends, and PUBG, saying, "Hey, we can have this one game go and keep getting money coming in through microtransactions and battle passes and etc." And then they thought this was going to be the game that everyone was going to keep sinking money into.
Mhm.
So I mean, maybe and there's only so many live services that people can buy that can afford to keep putting money into on a consistent basis. You can't make every game live service and think every single one of them is going to be a success. Because if you just make a clone, people are going to stick with the original. Your game has to do better than what other games in the past have done. If you can't do it, just don't make it live service. You want to extend the life of a game? DLC. Do that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's how you keep it. If you want to keep microtransactions for like cosmetic things, maybe make extra outfits for Harley Quinn and even the DLC characters like Joker, like I don't know. Well, let me think. Joker really didn't have any alternate outfits that I think about it, but you could have made alternate outfits for the characters. You could, even if it was a color swap. You could have made DLC more story, but you didn't even tell a story that people wanted to see. Like I said, what you should have done was basically the Suicide Squad killed the just Suicide Squad taking on the superheroes from the Injustice series. So Superman had gone completely evil and terrorizing public, and most people except Batman and most people, including Batman, had bought into Superman's craziness, like is a possible ending in Injustice 2. Um, so basically, you should have had Batman in his evil outfit be in that game. You should have had Superman. It looked like he was the evil Superman from Injustice 2 in the first trailer for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. You should have had Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, all those superheroes actually being themselves, but being their evil counterparts, like you saw in Injustice, and have that take on the Suicide Squad. Because, like I said, you could have played then with the players' minds, like, are you really are you evil, or are you really on the good side this time, even though you're playing as evil characters, aka the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But I think that would have been. But instead of making a game like that, um, they wanted to make a political statement, a cultural statement, and no one's going to care. As you saw, it didn't work.
Oh yeah.
But if Rocksteady wants to lose even more money and have this be on their record for as the only thing they've done over the last decade, then let them.
Hmm.
And if Rocksteady wants to drive itself out of business because they refuse that people don't want their shit that they're serving, Well, you know what? Maybe Rocksteady has outlived its usefulness as a game developer.
Yeah.